Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and how do we know when Marvel actors are lying about being in upcoming Marvel movies? Time and time again, when an upcoming Marvel movie is announced, actors who participate in interviews and junkets for other things inevitably get asked the Marvel question, and their response is always the same. Deny, 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 laugh it off, act like you don't know what they're talking about, pretend to be a doddering old man or a handsome ditz who's secretly old, and make the viewer feel like kind of a nerd for asking. The Marvel casting soft shoe, I call it. And we even saw Anthony Ramos do a little dance on stage at D23 in 2022 when talking about Ironheart to avoid spoiling Mephisto. The dance is real, guys. And with Avengers Doomsday on the horizon, lots of actors we're all pretty sure will be in this movie are under some gag order to refuse to say they're just in the movie. And since this movie is bringing back actors from past era Marvel franchises, this refusal to acknowledge mere involvement is even more strict than it was for Avengers Endgame. So in this video, I wanted to do a kind of service for you all, to create a guide for how to interpret this awkward little dance whenever we see it from a Marvel actor, how to detect the bullshit, how to know when Marvel actors lie. So I've assembled 10 past case studies that we're gonna examine today. As we go through each of them, you're gonna see a few interesting commonalities that we are gonna use to make a list of these 6 ways to know a Marvel actor is probably lying about not being in a movie. And I feel like I'm a bit of an expert in this subject. A, because I have been professionally embarrassed and burned by one of these actors doing this before. B, because I've been in my share of junkets before and am friends with many of the poor press folks who have been on the other sides of these questions. And C, in my spare time, I do play lots of social deduction games, including multiple industry traitors parties where I did have to sit across the pool from celebrities and figure out if they were lying. And I feel like I've done pretty good in those parties. Now, before we get into it, we have so many great holiday gift options available exclusively on our merch store, nerdriot.shop, which is having a huge holiday sale all month long, kicking off with a buy one, get one 50% off deal. Also, Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals coming soon. Grabbing a holiday gift from Nerd Riot is the best way to support us. Thank you so much. Okay, we gotta start with perhaps the most famous example of a Marvel actor lying about not being in a movie. 1. Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man No Way Home. Andrew Garfield, the classic werewolf himself. Throughout 2020 and 2021, as speculation grew for Spider-Man No Way Home, various rumors swirled about the possible returns of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield appearing in the film to make a sort of live-action Spider-Verse. While Tobey Maguire was able to avoid the media throughout the year, Andrew Garfield was also out there promoting Tick Tick Boom, which led to people like Joshua Horowitz in the Happy Sad Confused podcast asking about Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield denying being in the film, and then going a step further by comparing the whole process to the social deduction game of werewolf. Let's take a look.
Like, they might be doing something, but then ain't none, like, I ain't got a call, so, like, I'm not the werewolf. I promise you I am not the werewolf. And everyone's like, you're the werewolf. You're the fucking werewolf. Look at him. I did not get a call.
Since anyone who's played these games always suspects the guy who starts talking too much and answering additional things that weren't actually in the question, this raised a red flag. So throughout the year, even more people suspected he was lying. Then came a leaked 4K video of Andrew Garfield on set, which seemed pretty irrefutable. So then Jimmy Fallon asked Andrew Garfield about this, and Andrew Garfield doubled down. Take a look.
We know what's up. Do you know what's up? I
had no idea. Like,
Have you seen the photo?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you wouldn't see the photo because you're in the photo.
No, yeah, it's not possible to see a photo that you're in. I heard about it, and I did see it, and it's a Photoshop.
We say no.
I'm trying to manage expectations.
Boom! Andrew Garfield saying a moving 4K video is a Photoshop back in 2021 before AI deepfakes could look that good was a bold-faced lie. So looking back on this, when an actor defaults to giggling fits, when they don't normally do that, when they talk too much after normally not doing that, or when they seem to be choosing their words too carefully as if quoting a studio PR talking point, it's fair to be suspicious. So next, let's look at the Marvel actor lie that got me in trouble. Paul Bettany on a big cameo in WandaVision. In early 2021, when we were all trying to figure out what the hell WandaVision was, some people went into the season holding on to Elizabeth Olsen, seeming to say in an interview that after a digital version of Luke Skywalker made a surprise cameo in the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian in December of 2020, that a similar surprise cameo would be happening in WandaVision. So then, seeming to affirm that, Paul Bettany said this to Giangela LaBeouf at Black Girl Nerds.
The stuff that I can't talk to you about where I get to work with an actor, it's going to be a surprise for everybody. I get to work with an actor that I've been wanting to work with for forever, is just unbelievable, and and we have some real fireworks together.
To be clear, Giandra didn't ask Paul if there was a surprise actor coming in this show. Paul just volunteered this out of nowhere. That led many of us, including me, to be convinced that Mephisto would be appearing on this series. Because what else would Paul Bettany be talking about? He wasn't known for playing tricks on the fans like this. But by the end of the season, Paul came out and said that he was just talking about playing opposite himself, since he played both the Vision in the Hex and the alternate version of Vision known as White Vision, who battled in the final episode. This lie continues to haunt me because Paul was not responding to any question and he played it completely straight and deadpan. The only thing we have to go on is a phrase like real fireworks, which feels like a borderline sarcastic term, and it would be kind of awkward to say that if an actor was talking about any other real actor that way. So I think the takeaway here is, again, if an actor seems to be saying too much beyond what they were actually asked, do not trust it. All right, next one. Patrick Stewart in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. The 2022 Doctor Strange sequel promised to be another cameo fest for Super Bowl Sunday that included this moment.
We should tell him the truth.
That was unmistakably the voice of Patrick Stewart, and that sliding movement in the frame suggested that this must be Professor Charles Xavier from the X-Men films in his hover chair. So after this trailer dropped, Patrick Stewart, while promoting Picard, was asked the question.
Is that your voice in the Doctor Strange trailer? Can you comment on that at all?
Who's Doctor Strange?
Perfect. Thank you so much, Patrick.
As a professionally trained British thespian who has spent his career at nerdy conventions from his roles as Jean-Luc Picard and Professor X, Patrick Stewart is a master at handling these kinds of questions with perfectly timed deadpan. But the giveaway here is Stewart's glance upward and to his left, which expert lie detectors will tell you is a tell that someone is lying. But Stewart at this point so deftly and naturally folds it into this whole joke because he knows everyone out there already knows from the trailer. So his wide-eyed shrug followed by that warm smile are really what tell it all. Next one, Daphne Keane in Deadpool and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine was the Marvel Cameo Fest coming in 2024, and with Hugh Jackman confirmed to return as Wolverine in a movie that was probably going to address the character's death from the 2017 Logan film, many of us assumed that Daphne Keane would be returning as X-23 Laura. When Keane was on the red carpet for the Star Wars Acolyte series, a reporter followed up on her past denials that she would be in the film. Let's take a look.
No appearance in Deadpool Wolverine, but like, is that confirmed? Is that definite? We're definitely not going to see you pop up anytime. And if not, was it a bit sad not to be involved?
Of course it's sad. I love Hugh, and creatively I love Ryan and I love Sean. I'm really excited to see what they've made. I think Sean's like one of the best directors out there right now, and obviously Ryan's a legend, so it would have been amazing to be a part of it. But I'll just go watch it as a fan and to see my old buddy in it.
Hey, multiverse, anything can happen in the future.
Hopefully.
Multiverse.
Listen up, Marvel.
Daphne Keane uses the tactic of boring the interviewer with rote platitudes of other creatives, which is really all you hear at red carpet events like this, and then even plays the part of a thirsty actor trying to get Marvel to cast her. But yeah, she knew she was gonna be in the movie. She's totally in that movie. She's all over it. But in retrospect, looking at the statement, does Daphne Keane go into the local Odeon to watch anything as a fan? Iman Vellani, sure, she's there opening night cosplaying with the popcorn bucket. But that line of going to watch a movie as a fan just does feel a little scripted coming out of Daphne Keane's mouth. But in the moment, Daphne Keane totally did the soft shoe brilliantly. The only takeaway here is, does the actor say anything a little inauthentic to what they would actually be saying in that moment? But to even know that, you'd have to watch all of their interviews, and who has the time for that other than me? Today's video is sponsored by Raycon. There are a lot of times when I want to be listening to a podcast, but I also need to be tuned into the world around me. No one wants to be that guy making the barista shout their name over and over again because they've got the town cranked up too loud. But Raycon's new bone conduction headphones are the perfect piece of gear for when you want to be absorbed in your media but have to be out in the world. Raycon's bone conduction headphones deliver off-ear audio using vibration to send sound straight through your bones. That means your ears stay open to the world around you while you still get crystal clear music, podcasts, or calls. That makes them perfect for multitasking. I can listen to my playlist while still hearing the traffic on my ride, or catch my podcast while grabbing groceries without zoning out to what's happening around me. Plus, they have 13 hours of battery life, and they're IP68 waterproof and dustproof. That means they're safe for sweat, rain, or even sandy beach runs runs, and the no bud fit means that they won't slip. Like, I used them at the tail end of a heat wave the other day. Being able to feel the breeze on my ears helped me stay cool while I had my music on. It was great. Raycon gives you premium performance without the premium price tag. Their quality rivals the big audio brands, but at half the cost. Over 3 million customers already love their Raycons, and all Raycons come with a 30-day happiness guarantee. Black Friday is around the corner. Raycon audio products are up to 30% off site-wide. From everyday essentials to the latest releases, it's a perfect time to upgrade your sound or get ahead on gifting. These early deals won't last long. Shop now before they're gone. Just click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/newrockstarsbc to save on Raycon audio products site-wide. Next, Harrison Ford on Red Hulk in Captain America Brave New World. Harrison Ford, upon being interviewed by our friend Jamie Jurak on behalf of comicbook.com, though she's now at Phase Hero, go subscribe to them. When Ford and Phoebe Waller-Bridge were promoting Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny in 2023, Ford was asked about set photos of him as Thaddeus Ross in tattered pants for the next Captain America movie. Let's take a look.
The eagle-eyed viewers noticed you were wearing ripped pants. Might we be seeing a Mr. Ford as the Red Hulk?
What is a Red Hulk?
It is Thaddeus Ross's alter ego. He's gonna Hulk out.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You knew?
I know nothing.
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, someone's gonna tell you, and I hope it happens.
Well, it may or may not.
All right, I like that. That's a good twist.
Ha! Harrison Ford uses a similar tactic that Patrick Stewart used, playing a confused old man. But he doesn't drop the bit. He keeps playing it, bringing Phoebe into it, and then brushes it off with, well, it may or may not. But the tell here is that he looks up and off to the side at some producer or publicist from Disney who would have been standing just to the right of Jamie here. That glance of, am I allowed to talk about this? It indicates that Ford knew the interviewer veered into something he knew that he was not supposed to be talking about. Of course, Harrison Ford was playing a version of the president who would be turning into the Red Hulk, and he knew he was at that point in May of 2023. Next, Daniel Craig on Baldur the Brave and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So let's now look at an example of an actor being asked about their involvement after the movie came out. Multiverse of Madness featured several Marvel characters in a big cameo scene that seemed to have been reworked multiple times with lots of alternate cameos. And that Illuminati scene featured other characters like Thor's half-brother Baldur the Brave on the list. Concept art showed Daniel Craig in the role, and a set image showed a stunt actor as Baldur with their crumbled body during Wanda's massacre. Our man Joshua Horowitz came in clutch, asking Daniel Craig about this at a live event.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the character Baldur the Brave?
No.
There was a report, Daniel,
Yes.
that you were going to be in Doctor Strange.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Don't you hide behind that mug, Daniel Craig.
I know what you're talking about.
Now, you don't really see it there, but after Daniel's initial no, when the camera cuts back to Josh as he clarifies a question, Daniel Craig does admit yes.
No.
There was a report, Daniel,
Yes.
that you were going to be in Doctor Strange.
And then he just kind of giggles and hides behind the mug and claims to not know what Josh is talking about. But then, like Patrick Stewart, he goes quiet at the end of his sentence and just stares knowingly at Josh. It's the playfulness and the knowing stare that are the tell here. But Daniel might be in a more playful mood since the movie already came out and he wasn't in it. And there's visual proof online that people can decipher for themselves. Next, Paul Rudd in Ant-Man. Before Paul Rudd was announced to be playing Ant-Man in the MCU, he appeared at a red carpet event in December 2013, and he was asked about the rumors that he would be playing Scott Lang in the upcoming Ant-Man film, asked by Absolute Radio.
So from Anchorman to Ant-Man?
That's all rumor, man. Sorry. There's nothing I know. Sorry.
What I love about this one is just days after this, December 19th, 2013, Paul Rudd was officially confirmed for the role. So he totally knew here. But if you've seen any Paul Rudd appearance on Conan, you know that he does fall into a specifically cool, casual vibe when he's stringing someone along. This tip is just specific to Paul Rudd though. I don't think you can apply this to anyone else. Next, Jonathan Majors as Kang in Loki. In June 2021, when the first season of Marvel's Loki was streaming, Variety interviewed Jonathan Majors about Lovecraft Country and about his announced role as Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and whether we would be seeing his character even sooner in Loki on Disney+. We don't have video of this, but the Variety reporter wrote, "Majors doesn't blink. I have no idea what you're talking about," he says. A quick response that seems to give nothing away. This sounds like what most PR people would tell the talent to do. 9. Russo brothers on Endgame as the movie title. On May 7th, 2018, Joe and Anthony Russo chatted with Uproxx the week after Avengers Infinity War released, and they were asked about the title for the 4th movie coming a year later. Now, we don't have video or more audio of this conversation, but here was the exchange that I'm going to read to you like a court stenographer reading back a trial transcript. When will we know the title to the 4th Avengers movie? Joe Russo: not for a while. So it's not going to be in a couple weeks? Joe Russo: no. So after Ant-Man and the Wasp? Anthony Russo: we haven't totally decided yet, but we are not anywhere close to it yet. Is the title of the 4th Avengers ever spoken in Infinity War? Joe Russo: no. Okay, because people have been looking for clues in the dialogue. Anthony Russo: it's certainly grounded in the narrative that we have been following throughout the MCU. Very well grounded. Lies! Because the movie would be titled Avengers Endgame, and in Avengers Infinity War, Doctor Strange totally says this:
we're in the endgame now.
Now, the 4th Avengers movie was called Avengers Endgame, which is something fans caught after the movie cinematographer listed Avengers Endgame on his resume. This is before it was publicly confirmed when the trailer released in December of 2018. So then as Endgame was getting closer in April of 2019, Peter Sciretta for Slash Film asked the Russos why they lied about this. This was in the Endgame press junket. Joe Russo suggested that when they were first asked this, Endgame was not firmly decided on as a title, and that they were still going back and forth on it. I don't know if I buy this. And because the Russos are so deadpan and confident when they give these answers, I think it's impossible to know when these guys are lying other than judging them from their past lies. Honestly, when it comes to those dudes, I don't believe anything they say. 10. Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. In June of 2016, when talking to MTV UK, Brie Larson was asked if she would be playing Captain Marvel for the MCU. And let's take a look at this soft shoe.
A lot of fans want you to play Captain Marvel when isn't that a boy? It's supposed to be the first female-led
the first female
movie. Yeah, I mean,
so would I be playing a man?
No, a woman. Captain Marvel.
I was like, this is interesting. I'm kind of into it. I thought I was always forever going to be stuck playing female roles, but I'm down to play Chris Evans.
Okay. Just a month after this, at San Diego Comic-Con in July 2016, Marvel Studios totally brought out Brie Larson on stage as Captain Marvel. So she definitely knew back here in June. And while Harrison Ford and Patrick Stewart could probably get away with playing old man dumb, I do think Brie Larson might go a little too far with it here. Would Brie Larson really default to assuming a comic book hero is male if she's also pretending like she knows nothing about the character, when the premise of that assumption would also mean that this female interviewer asking her about it also didn't know that? Or was Brie Larson assuming we'd be playing 4D chess here and that Captain Marvel was also the original name of Shazam, the male character being played by Zachary Levi in the DCEU at the time? Or did she really expect us all to believe that in the same year Captain America Civil War had just made $1 billion, Brie Larson would have thought that Chris Evans' character's name was Captain Marvel? Either way, I think she just went a little too far with the bit, and if she really didn't know what the interviewer was asking about, I think she would have just said less and moved on. So here's really our checklist of the 6 ways to know a Marvel actor is lying. 1, if they talk way too much and go beyond what the interviewer asked of them. 2, if they smile or laugh or give some knowing looks when they aren't known to do so. 3, when they break eye contact or look upward or look over at a publicist. 4, if they excessively play dumb when they aren't known to do that. 5, if their response seems overly scripted. And 6, if their name is Paul, or I guess Joe or Anthony. So knowing these things and looking back at Brie Larson's response in 2016, let's compare that to how she handles it in 2025 when she's asked if Captain Marvel will be in Avengers Doomsday on The View just 2 weeks ago.
Is there any chance we'll see Captain Marvel in the upcoming Avengers
Thank
Doomsday?
you for asking, and you know I can't answer. they are so lock and key at Marvel.
Ha! It's almost like her PR contacts showed her that video of her jokey response in 2016 and said, "Don't do that again, Brie." And then her thumbs up at the end here is kind of her way of saying, "See, I did better this time." Now we could judge for looking away from the question, but I think her performative turn and her response is just meant for the studio audience. That said, Brie's voting Instagram post in November showing her blonde hair extensions, calling those out with the shush emoji, kind of tells us everything we need to know on whether or not the character will be in Doomsday. Comment down below with your thoughts on all this, and a special thanks to one of our YouTube members, Bro, for supporting us at the executive producer level. Big thanks to Studio Tech Brian Kim, New Rockstars editors Joshua Stephen Hurd and Abby Freel, and all the supporting editors who worked on this video. Follow me at EA Voss and subscribe to all the channels in the New Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.